Okay, once again, you might want to turn down your volume on your headset or your speakers, whatever you're using, because this is pretty loud. Um, More than from what I can tell, except when I'm recording for like One Piece. And I've already tried to explain this, but here's the thing. I'm not trying to shout in your ears. I apologize if it sounds like that way, and I'm not trying to do that. But I feel like at the same time that there's nothing I can do because this is like the only way it'll pick me up uh, clear enough. Otherwise, it sounds like I'm either too quiet or I'm too low, and that's just the thing. I'm not even really shouting, believe it or not. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I've been upset quite a few times, and I know when I'm upset and when I'm yelling and stuff, and like stuff. But I don't know that I'm loud because I can't tell the difference here. Um, so I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. And so this is another chapter into the saga. I had to wait till later to make another one because the video I recorded actually was I had to delete because the computer shut down on me before I could stop it or whatever, and it was just crazy. This thing likes to shut down. I've never had to do that before. I may have to get some cooling pads. I already was planning on doing that, but here's the thing. I've got to get a USB thing. With more ports, because this thing only has about 4 ports, and that's just not good enough for me. Guess I want to do 2 controllers, and well, I hate to admit it, but I also don't hate to admit it. It would just be me versus me. Only I don't want to use my keyboard, because I hate using the keyboard. The only time I actually love using it, as it seems to be more functionated, where it actually fits right, is for computer-generated games. Anything to do with games, whether they're emulated or not, as long as they're on actual console games, then it's crap. Although the ones that have been directly made for that port would no doubt be good, but it's still always good with controller. It also depends on the game. Well, like Doom, oh yeah, you're gonna want to use a keyboard and mouse, no doubt. Um, and I ain't talking about like on Nintendo 64. I mean on the actual PC. It's hard to get a hold of these days. Um, Not just owning it, but also getting it illegally. I know that sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, but I say that because, like, if you wanted to get a copy and you couldn't get it because nobody had it in stock, but you try to look elsewhere and not try to go to some pirated site, but it's still kind of illegal in another way because you're trying to get a free download until you can get an actual copy. But even then, I wouldn't bother to record it because I want to get an extra copy. I actually have my own copy, but I've lost it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your ear there, but actually I did kind of, my voice did kind of raise up a little bit there, and I apologize for that. What am I doing here? Oh, right, so, anyway, oh, that's right, I was looking for something, wasn't I? I do want to get started on Middle of Honor, but I'll do that off screen. So what I want to do is I want to get back to playing Tekken, because I like the game, but it's also because I'm taking a break from the aforementionable thing. I probably should not have done this on multi-tap. So here's the thing that's what's going to happen is that I'm going to have to absolutely do this and remove this every time. It's annoying, but it's got to be done. So what I got to do is I got to bring the emulator up each and every time before I actually record the screen. Otherwise, it will go and do a thing where it goes blank and it won't pick it up for whatever dumb reason. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and just change it to the thing here, because I don't need really a multi-tap. I really just don't. And the unfortunate thing is that I can't use you know. Okay, maybe I do need an multi-tap. That's kind of stupid. It's really it's just it bugs me, right? That I don't know. I thought maybe I could just put it on too, but it won't let me do it without multi-tap, I guess. Anyway, so let's run this thing, and we'll go back to the deal. Anyway, I just wanted to quickly let you guys know about that. If you hear it too loud, there's not much I can do about it, except kind of warn you ahead of time. I'm not going to try to do that every video. If you don't know by now, you should have been watching the first time I actually mentioned it. So, because I'll forget, and it's not funny. So, let me also turn this off, because we don't need repeat stuff and then get flagged for whatever dumb reason. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and... so, what I could do... hold on, I'll be right back. I'm sure that this is working correct. So every time I gotta do this, I had to reset. Otherwise, it just kind of screws itself up, and then I guess I should have done that in the first place. But we'll go to this here, and that's fine. That's fine. Guard damage. I have no idea. Okay. So what we want to do here is just do that, because also, like I said, this is for just a little bit. This is not going to be like every week or anything like this. But I will endeavor to finish this game, but it probably won't be right away until whenever. Because, like I said, the next game will be after I finish off Actrader. But this will give me plenty of time to absolutely mess with it, so that I can do that. Will you stop? Where was I at? Did I do... I have no idea. Team battle? No, I don't want to do that, because then I have to go... See, the thing with team battle, I'm not going to swear to it, but you're probably going to need more than 2 controllers. Which obviously, you won't know, and I'm going to say that for the record, because I don't like when people say, it's obvious, like you really know. No, you don't know. What you do know, anyway, is that as well as obvious, is that I have a keyboard and mouse, but mouse don't work, so not with this. However, I'm going to go ahead and go to here. And I'm just going to use my favorite guy. Yep. So I'm going to try and do this correctly. So, it doesn't matter who you start out with. Yeah, like I said, they all have their own different, forms or whatever. But yeah, so, yeah, I want to make sure I'm covered up so that I work on ActRaiser out screen. I don't know if I can... I probably won't be doing it at home, because I don't like to take the risk. Look at that. That's cool. I win. Yeah. So, I've had a lot of good experience with this. I hate the idea of timers. I always have, and I always will. If I have to have a timer on the screen, then I will deal with it as best I can. But just be very wary that I will be using save states constantly. And I don't mind using save states. If I can do without the timer, that would be even better. But that's just for like games like this where you are beat 'em ups. Yeah, there we go. I should have counted as a sort of a perfect, but again, perfects don't matter in this game. So, anyway, I will endeavor to ever complete every game I have if possible. Also, because I want to get back to where I was and count here. And I also have to say that, okay, here's the thing. I am language illiterate. In other words, I am to the point that I don't mainly use any other language but English. It may sound selfish or cold, I don't care, but it's the truth. And because if I could speak all languages, I would be doing it. If I could figure out a way that it would translate for me, because that is my main one is English anyway, and that's the one I prefer anyway. So I don't understand things. Like I might know some French, but there's just some I don't know. And believe it or not, I did take a course. I don't remember how it even happened or whatever, but I do know I hate when you have to fight women, but you got to do what you got to do when you have a survival match. Anyway, so as I was saying, what was it now? That when it comes to languages, I used to. I took a class. Okay, I knew I had already known just about all the things, and then I started to forget. But I do remember. I retain a little bit of remembrance of some of the words for French. I know a little bit of Japanese. I don't know much. I don't know anything in Chinese, Vietnamese. Know a little bit of Pig Latin, probably more than I probably should fairly share, but I couldn't swear to you because my memory doesn't work that well. So, but again, anything I have, I know. I'd rather just. I mean, I could tell what language it is, but I don't know what they're saying. And without a good translator, I don't know what you're saying. It has to be able to translate into my language. But whoever is that language, that's what a translator is supposed to do. And I remember when there used to be a translator, but I guess it doesn't always work. So the translator on YouTube really does suck. I hate to say it, but it just does because it's not even working. So, and I tried to look it up, see if I could try to fix it out, but it didn't tell me what to do. It just told me that all this other stuff that has nothing to do with fixing the issue at hand. It was just trying to translate what people actually say. Here we go again with fighting women all the time. You know. Anyway, I don't like fighting women, but if I had to, I had like the steel nerves to actually do it because I wasn't programmed with a way to absolutely hit women, but I have tried my best not to ever. Because I'll never strike the first blow. If they try to hit me, they're probably getting me anyway. So that's the way it goes, unfortunately. I was never told not to do it even in defense, but my defense sucks. It really does. I hate to admit it, but I literally I could I could protect myself just about almost against any guy, but no women. Yeah, I really hate that I am that way, and it's not because I think it's okay to hit a woman. I'd be fair. I don't care for violence. Again, I apologize for yelling in your ear there, but violence is not cool. This is actually one of another YouTuber of mine, or not YouTuber of mine. Did I say that? I mean, one of my favorite YouTubers that I used to watch a long time ago. I didn't watch him to spoil myself because I already played this game before I even, I didn't really get through like a whole bunch, but I already know quite a bit about this game. But this is one of his favorite characters, is King. So actually, it is his favorite character. I'll show you. Oh dang, really? Come on, dude. Because he's like a wrestler. He also reminds me of a character I know of in another game. But, dang, really, dude? Dang. Oh my god. I got you that time, you sucker. Ugh. Man. How many times? See, that's what I'm saying. Most characters can do probably more than they should. Yeah, take that. Take that. I don't hate this character. I just hate playing as them. Because I'm not good at doing their combos. I mean, I can do some of the moves, but when I first played this many times I tried, I just suck terribly. But I guess after all these years, I've still retained some bit of experience. And experience when I've used this guy as my personal guy, like a kind of a trainer to use the buttons. But the difference is that there's a lot of stuff they're going to be able to pull off, especially in higher difficulties. So yeah, they're going to be able to do a hell of a lot more to me. So there we go. That should have been like near perfect anyway. You know, I like how like when I was playing this, right, it said like perfect, and I don't even didn't even use what I got right now in order to do this, even to survive the onslaught of this, even though I'm on the easiest difficulty, but it's also the hardest difficulty, which makes no sense. Some games will actually have that way. The easy difficulty, you think it's so easy, it's not. It makes it much more harder. So, there are some games out there that actually have. Well, this is the first time I've actually fought this guy in arcade mode. Fought him in practice though. So anyway, as I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. I hate when my brain fails like that. But pretty much, I just want to say, I mean, this game is pretty awesome. Yeah. I didn't even know there was a panda in this game, or remember that there was one. I've only barely remember some of the characters I've actually fought. Like there was Lee and the dude with the dragon on his arm that eventually becomes evil for whatever reason. I don't know. Don't care. I pretty much do like evil characters. I really do. The only problem I have with them is, as cool as they are, they use it for the wrong reasons. I don't care if you are, you shouldn't misuse your powers like that. It's just like being a weak person anyway. You're misusing your authority there, and you don't even. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the kicking with Eddie. Pretty much most of his characters do kicking anyway. But this guy, a lot of it revolves around doing that. Yeah. I got him good. Yep. Yep. So, for whatever reason, this thing actually glitches out when I had the pants version of him. They're all about the same, but again, the legging style that he does for the kicking is actually better in the pants form, but it glitches out for whatever reason. I don't know. There you go. I beat Paul. I forgot that it was his name until I remembered it. I would not have remembered all of them anyway. I forgot even what their names were until I brought this up. Uh-oh. Here's the big dude that actually runs the tournament. He's not the actual boss of the tournament, no, but he was like the boss that actually put this together. Oh, dude, that was one of my main moves right there. Was his moves, I should say. Eddie Guerrero, I think that's his name. Let's see if you want to say Eddie Guerrero, but it's not Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was a wrestler, and I actually saw, believe it or not, someone who actually looked exactly like him, but he was not Eddie Guerrero. I saw that in the audience when they were doing. I think they were doing the inducting him into the Hall of Fame or whatever. And yeah, I did. I saw him sitting there, gray hair and everything else. Eddie Guerrero did not have gray hair, no, but you know, you try. I guarantee you, it's not. If you look it up, you're not going to find it that way. You'd have to stumble upon the video, and I don't even remember which one it would have been, what episode. I did see it though. Yeah, take that. So this awesome. fighting stuff. I don't mind 3 rounds, but 3 rounds will always be generally in case they can knock you out in 1 round. No matter what you use. Oh, dude. Yeah, I think if you use it, there's a certain move you can't use against this guy. I don't know why, but you know, like I think it's like the kickstand. I can't remember, but I never even noticed it. But you know, it's just not something he'll allow. Now this guy is going to do something really stupid. Yep, going to absorb the head honcho of the place, and then he becomes the final boss. I didn't remember him being that. There's actually another one. It was actually another final boss that was actually even better than this guy. I think it was actually much more nasty. Look at that. Nothing you can do against my immense power. Yeah, boom, bitch. Boom. Ho 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 ho. Yeah, you want that now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ogre, which they should actually call it ogre transformation or whatever. Or flying ogre, but they didn't. And I mean, I wouldn't even say, to be fair, this is one of their first games. No. Yeah. So I think here you might notice that you're going to see twin brothers here. But you wouldn't think that, but yeah. It's pretty crazy. Or maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like. But I don't. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna turn that off because I don't want to. And that was Tekken 3. I mean, it's not even done yet, but no amount of means because they've got more modes to take on. The only difference is there's one I can't do because I don't have multiple controllers. So even if I could do that, it wouldn't be a good idea. Unlike Killer Instinct, I can use 2 controllers per deal. So like with the keyboard or just two controllers because I don't have other controllers. And if I want to use multiple, well, you know, I would have to for the multi-tap. I believe almost all consoles have well, no, they all have multi-tap. What am I talking about? And I'm just going to say this. I've never heard in my life where you have to actually own a multi-tap, but I have owned quite a multitude of controllers, even though I've never had the multi-tap. The multi-tap is something you can plug into, which I guess emulation does it differently. I've never even, I always thought maybe you had to plug it in one port or something, but it plugs into both, and then what ultimately happens is like, also, by the way, some of the names that are popping up here are some of the off of the characters you've fought in the game. They're actually to do with even though the characters themselves have nothing to do with them, but it's the names to do with the designers. But also, anyway, so the multi-tap takes up 2 ports, I think maybe 4 ports, including the memory card port. And what happens ultimately is you can do that. I don't know if you can connect more. I've heard you can. Like you can actually where it's like add up to 2 more. And that's all you can do for like 6 controllers. That's all you could do, which is pretty crazy. But emulation works a bit differently though. Like I can have port 1 for pad 1, which on console, actual console, it's not set up that way. So, you know, whatever. So, I never owned a multi-tap. I don't think anyway. But it doesn't really matter. I've owned games that you can use multi-tap on, and I've even had multitude of controllers. But I could never use more than 2 because I didn't own the multi-tap. I know what it is, I know what it looks like, I've just never really had it on like a console. Any one of my consoles that I've ever owned. Even though my first ever console, well, I would not say, as far as playing goes, I believe it was arcade and Other ones I've even played Game Boy Advance. I played uh, multitudes. But the one I actually officially owned, my very first ever console, would have been your average. Oh, by the way, I can do this with this one controller, which I don't really understand anyway. Um, anyway, um, yeah, I mean, yeah. The very first console I ever owned was a Super Nintendo, and that was it. And for the longest time, and the only good games I actually had, and eventually I owned more, but I didn't have a whole huge collection of games. I only had two to start out with, which, like I said, this Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Even though I did play the first game, I didn't really originally own it. I don't think. I don't think I ever actually owned a cartridge until sometime later. But anyway, and then I went into. I had a choice to make. I couldn't make up my mind whether I wanted to go with Nintendo 64 or PlayStation. And because, see, I came from a poor family. And if I've already explained this before, just completely ignore this. But this is for those of you who... this is me just remembering stuff. So anyway, so ignore me if you have to. But anyway, I feel like I want to reminisce anyway. So just bear with me for a few minutes here. But yeah, so eventually I just wound up going with PlayStation. This is before it was even called PlayStation 1. Believe it or not. It was the saga of that, and Final Fantasy VII was my first one. I never even knew about Suikoden until a friend of my brother's who went off to Job Corps, never saw him again, gave me a used game, and anyway, I never owned a cover or nothing to it. It was in a case, I believe, but it well, it had like a cover art, whatever, with the story on it, whatever, but like the face of it was missing and didn't have like a booklet or nothing like that on it. Anyway, so I don't know whatever happened to that disc. I think I got kind of messed up anyway, but I know that it started to stop working for a while because I had to. What was that? Anyway, I've got it buffered so many times, it's just not a good idea. But anyway, so yeah, I haven't regretted going to PlayStation. I mean, if I had a choice, I would have gone with both because I love, because two of my favorite separated consoles, and that would have been Zelda. I would say I'm an overall fan, but I'm not a fan of newer games. Not especially when they don't make it like it's a Zelda world. Like, you're not really saving the world in Zelda. All you're doing is you're just going around, filling around, doing what you want. And although the only one that could actually pull it off with that would have been the Super Mario, I forget what they call it, but that was the only one that could actually pull it off. But the Zelda stuff was stupid. Okay, it's not just an opinion; it's a fact because you slap it on there. I'm not saying it's stupid if that's what you want to do, and whatever. That is not the new age. I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to be the new age. Okay, well, you can just, it's like almost like you're going into a whole world of like Sword Art Online. Even though I forgot about it, but when Toonami was on, I think, or before that anyway, I watched Dot Hack. I forgot all about that show. It was my very first actually online. But the official one that I counted years later when I forgot all about it was Sword Art Online. It actually was a little bit more immersive anyway than Dot Hack. And I watched both series, but I don't think I actually watched it all the way through. I must find myself hard trying to get it back in, trying to even get into it these days. So the problem I'm having, is that, it's just hard to get into it. I mean, like, I find myself much more easier where I could get into Sword Art Online than I could Dot Hack. I mean, it's not just because it's older, because if that was true, I wouldn't have been able to watch Gundam Wing. I can't watch G Gundam because there's no English dub, even though there was. But yeah, so that's my memory lane for you tonight, and I'm gonna try to do more of this, but I won't do very much of it because I do want to finish off. I'm like, believe it or not, I'm actually in the Cantadora area. So once I wrap that up, you know, I went ahead and gone ahead and cleared off first stage, but now I gotta get through getting all those monsters out of the way, and then you know, on the land, and then take care of Act 2, and then I can move on to, I guess, Ayatos, and then I guess I'll go to Murano, and then I can take care of Northwall again. So I don't regret the many things I do. That there are things that, well, I do agree with myself on it, then I think about it afterwards. Like by the time I even try to record it, it becomes a deleted video because it's just not something I feel like should be presented on the air, if that makes any sense. I mean, I feel like that, in a sense, it should be, but because of the way today's society is, it's not easy to present it. And it's not racist, but people will consider it racist. And it's really stupid because it ain't got nothing to do with color, but yeah, it's completely freaking racist. Yeah, that's like, that really makes sense. Like if I sat there and talked about how much I hated air conditioners, which I really don't, but if I had said that, they would have said that that's just racist. Or that's racist towards air conditioners. So stupid. Plus people also take things so offensively, it's not even funny. So, it's hard to even get into today's world of comedians, or the comedy world. Uh, so, you know, I'm not even going to protest or profess the idea that I should even attempt to do it. I've never even thought about becoming a comedian. But I am a little bit of one, if I should say so myself, me, myself, and I. And sometimes my family does understand me, but you know, my sense of humor. But you know, sometimes I do have a little bit of dark sense of humor. But there's only so much I'm willing to go so far with in terms of dark humor. I mean, like when I'm by myself, it's one thing, but it's another if I'm going to do it in front of everybody else. Um, but if you know what dark sense of humor is, basically, it's nothing to do with, you know, where you just like outright or you think it's funny at all, you know, getting rid of people, if you catch my drift. No, I mean this is to do with like dirty jokes up to like to the most, some of the extremists, or having things I've said that I won't put on the air. You know, sometimes some of it I have, but I've never really officially put it on the air where I've officially recorded it and kept it on the deal. Um, there are a lot of things I regret, or I have in the past. I mean, not right now, at this time of period, because that's the past. And but in a way, even though I wish I had never done it, but I did, and now I wouldn't say I know better because it's just, I mean, that used to be a thing. But because I repeated the mistakes, I never thought I would. And yeah, people will say, well, you promised never to do it again. And I did. But the thing is, eventually it happened again. And I forgot all about it. I mean, I forgot that I even promised I would never do it again. And I couldn't help that it happened. Like, when you make costly mistakes, you know, that kind of thing. Like, in other words, costly mistakes that could get you kicked out or whatever, you know, easily enough, you know, that kind of thing. But it happens. So, especially even if you swear to yourself, I swear I'll never do that again. And some people are so lucky they don't never do it through their life until their next life. You know? And whether you want to believe it or not, yeah, you do have a next life. Even if you don't remember that previous life. So, it is what it is. Anyway, I gotta go. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for bearing with me if you still went through this. And if you're already complaining, well, I don't know what the hell you were doing here in the first place. Oh my god, I had to sit here and listen to you rant beat off my ear with all that nonsense. Oh, go crap. Why couldn't you just do more instead of just keeping your mouth shut and all that stuff and just play the game? What are you talking about? I don't understand. Put this in another way, I don't want to understand. I really don't care about you. Anybody who can sit there and get to this point and start bitching about it, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care about you. Bye. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out, because I ain't got nothing to do with you. Bye-bye. You know, like really. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if I wind up repeating myself, sometimes I add more and sometimes I forget. You know, and sometimes because I do remember, though with that same regard, would I actually add more to it? Yeah, I'll start off with it, but I try not to rehash every little detail. And there's just so many things that I do remember, and things I've never done, things I want to be able to play, things I know I'll never be able to play, I want to actually play, and some things I have seen I don't really care to play. Even if I've never seen playthroughs of it, I don't really care. Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 13, I've seen playthroughs of it. 14. What else? Oh, yeah. Teardrops. Legend of Zelda Teardrops and Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild. Thumbs down on all that bull crap. That's not because I think it's bull crap because of the graphics or because people want to play it. That's your decision, and I support you in that. But don't expect me to do it, and then be like, oh, if you don't do that, then you're not supporting me and all that crap. No, that's not supporting people. That has nothing to do with supporting. You know, and I don't have to give you a daggum dime to support you in your effortless dreams when you're going to go like that. You know, it's the idea that it's your dream. It's what you want to do. I have nothing against it. I don't judge people because they just choose to do things that I don't like to do. I don't do that. I mean, sure, there are like people who do crimes that are against nature or against the law. Basically, they're more important things because the law doesn't care what you do against nature. So you decide to go out in the middle of the woods and nowhere and decide to take a leak on a tree. They're not going to care because ain't got cameras sitting out there. You know? And most of the time they don't care about hunting either because people hunt, which is good and bad. So it is what it is. I'm not going to say nay or yay on that one because I don't really care one way or the other. The only thing I do care about it as long as we don't run out of animals, you know. That's all I care about. But other than that, I don't care what you do. You know, it's like the same thing when somebody smokes. So you're smoking. What am I supposed to do about it? Oh, you don't blow it in my face and expect me to sit there and do the same thing you do. Hell, if people sit there with doing drugs, I wouldn't be doing drugs. Except for medicated drugs that have to do with when you need it and not do it all the time. Because, I mean, to be fair, you can get addicted to either one. It wouldn't matter. I mean, yeah, but both dangerous depending on how well you do it. The only difference is one of them's worse than the other one. So, yeah. But we're not going to get into the legalities and illegalities of all that because we're not here for all that kind of junk. Are we? No. I just thought I'd express my viewpoint on it, even if people disagree with that, I don't care. Because this is my life, this is how I live it, and I say no to drugs. Except for drugs that I actually need when I actually need them, because I don't get hopped up on drugs. I only just hop on them when I need to hop on them. And I only take the necessary amount, basically, and that's it. I don't like to take 16 different drugs. You know, my grandma had 16 years so many drugs because she was prescribed that many pills. She was my dad's mom, you know, and yeah, she had to have heart medicine. I forget whatever else medicine. That's what they did for the elderly. I don't know if they do that anymore, but I know that there were a lot of people who had to have meds for like schizophrenia, ADHD, bipolar, all kinds of stuff you never think of. I used to be on a medicated drug that turned me into like a, you might say like a mindless zombie. The only difference was I wasn't a zombie looking for brains. I wasn't a clear person. But it was like, it made me focus. And then when I stopped taking it because we ran out, I was clear-headed and I became the person I am now. That I've always been here. But that's a different story about what actually happened there. Anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, my life is a complicated mess. So I wouldn't even try to be me. I wouldn't even want people to be inside my own head because what goes in my head you don't want to know. It's basically a nightmare. And it ain't a nightmare for me. Might be for you. Maybe you even attempt it later.